Let's take a look at the final leg of the Triple Crown. It's race number 12 at Belmont Park on Saturday. It's the Grade 1 Belmont Stakes. It's a mile and a half, with a purse of $1.5 million. This is a great weekend for racing. There's multiple Grade 1 races at Belmont. I will be posting a full field analysis for several of those races. So if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Click on all notifications so you'll be instantly notified when my picks are posted. And smash that like button for me. This is a good field. This is a solid field. You can make an argument for several of these horses to win. This is a quality field in the Belmont Stakes. Let's take a look at it. Start with the one horse, Tapit Twice at 20-1. Since breaking his maiden at the fairgrounds by 7.5, he's increased his speed figures. He's also sired by Tapit. Since 2014, horses sired by Tapit have won the Belmont 4 times. 2020, his grandson won, 'Tis the Law. This horse is trained by Brad Cox, written by Jose Ortiz. You're getting 20-1 on him. Now, his last 4 races, he did race with Lasix. He's not getting Lasix in this one. But he has an interesting long shot at 20-1. Let's take a look at the 2 horse, Tapit Twice, at 3-1. Now, going into the Kentucky Derby, he was in excellent form. He won 4 races in a row, posted his highest speed figure in the Bluegrass Stakes. I picked him to win the Bluegrass Stakes. And in the Kentucky Derby, I didn't pick him in my top 4. I didn't like his post position number 5 in an 18-horse field. See, you go back and you watch Tapit Twice's races. Tapit Twice wants nothing to do with the rail. He doesn't like kickback. Go back and watch that Bluegrass Stakes when he was in post position number 1. Luis Saez took him to the outside quickly in that race. The same thing for that allowance race at Gulfstream. When he was in post position number 1, Luis Saez got him out real quick, away from the rail. This horse does not like being on the rail. Post position number 5 in the Derby with 18 horses total, he couldn't get off the rail. And he got a lot of kickback. And he didn't like that so much. He is sired by Tapit. I don't think he's going to have a problem with this distance at all. But Louis is going to have to get him off the rail quickly. He's going to have to race him the way he raced him in the Bluegrass Stakes. Trainer Todd Pletcher has won this race 4 times. Getting 3-1 on the 2-horse Tapit Twice. I will use Tapit Twice on my tickets. Take a look at the 3-horse, Arcangelo at 8-1. He's a grandson of Tapit. He's coming into this race off back-to-back wins. Broke his maiden at Gulfstream, 3.5. And he ran him in the Peter Pan at this racetrack. Posted his fastest speed figure. And he's showing an increase in speed figures as well. I think he's going to love the added distance of 1.5 miles. I think this horse can run all day. 5 of the last 10 Belmont Stakes winners had a previous race over the track. Getting 8-1 on Arcangelo, I will use him on my tickets. Take a look at the 4-horse National Treasure at 5-1, trained by Bob Baffert. Baffert has won this race 3 times. He set the pace in the Preakness. And in the stretch, got into a nice stretch duel with Blazing Sevens. And won that race by a head. He's going to set the pace in this one as well. Question is, who's going to run with him? I think Tapit Twice from the rail, he'll be forward, but he's not going to try to compete for the lead with National Treasure. They allowed this horse to go to lead by himself. Set an easy pace. You could just be looking at a battle for second. Getting 5-1 on the 4-horse National Treasure. I will use National Treasure on my tickets. Take a look at the 5-horse, Miracallo. Maybe he might go to the lead and challenge National Treasure. I mean, he's only got 2 wins, and both of them were gate to wire. But his races against Greater Stakes horses, well, he's nowhere near the lead against Greater Stakes horses. He wants nothing to do with the lead when he races against quality competition. Getting 30-1 on the 5-horse, Miracallo. And there's your 6-horse at 5-2, Forte. He was the morning line favorite in the Kentucky Derby, and he was scratched. He came into the Kentucky Derby with 5 straight wins. He only had 1 bad race. That was the Sanford back in July of last year. Out of 7 races, this horse had 6 wins. Getting 5-2 on Forte. Trained by Todd Pletcher, ridden by Irad Ortiz, owned by Mike Rapoli. Same trio won the Belmont last year with Mo Donegal. He has a win over the track. But he is coming off a more than 2-month layoff. Getting 5-2 on Forte. I will use the 6-horse on my tickets. Take a look at the 7-horse, Hit Show, at 10-1. He's a grandson of Tapit. Hit Show broke his maiden at Keeneland. 2 races after that, won an allowance race at Oaklawn. Picked up a Greater Stakes win back in February. 5.5 winning the Withers. Finished second in the Wood Memorial. And he kind of flattened in the stretch in the Kentucky Derby, finishing 5th. He is trained by Brad Cox. You're getting 10-1 on the 7-horse Hit Show. Then there's the 8-horse at 7-2, Angel of Empire, the horse who I picked to win the Kentucky Derby. Out of 7 races, he has 4 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd. The only time he finished out of the money was on turf. Last time out in the Derby, he was 7 wide into the stretch, and he was flying down the lane. He was closing nicely. Finished 3rd in the Kentucky Derby. He ran a solid race. Flavian Pratt is back. They're making a change in equipment. They're adding blinkers, which I think is kind of interesting. Flavian Pratt recommended to Brad Cox that maybe he should add blinkers for this horse. Now, he's raced well without blinkers. They're trying a little something different in this race. Getting 7-2 on 8-horse Angel of Empire. I will use Angel of Empire on my tickets. Take a look at the 9-horse. At 15-1, it's Red Route 1. It's trained by Steve Asmussen. Asmussen won this race in 2016. Out of 10 races, Red Route 1 only has 2 wins. Finished 4th last time out in the Preakness. He's a closer. Getting 15-1 on the 9-horse Red Route 1. These are the horses that I'm going to use on my tickets in the Belmont. I'm using Forte, Angel of Empire, Tapit Twice, National Treasure, and Arcangelo. horse I'm going to pick to win the Belmont Stakes. Well, I picked him in the Derby. He ran well in the Derby. It gives me no reason not to pick him in the Belmont. I'm going with the 8 horse, Angel of Empire. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Let me know who you're picking in this race. Good luck.